There is one major question, Brian. This is something that not just have I seen it on Facebook, I've definitely seen it from the critics and everything. When's the app coming out?
Everybody wants to pin us down to a date.
Of course.
And I want to be able to say a date. But when you say a date, you want to be able to deliver on that date. And the reality of it is if our initial goal was in 60 days, we wanted to create a buzz campaign that created an audience of 100,000 people ready for us to go live.
Right.
And our initial intent was that we had a 4-phase approach to roll out our entire ecosystem and business model.
Okay.
The first was eyeball acquisition, which is really what we're in now, gain the audience.
Right.
Number 2, it was about introducing an app. So our first app was going to be a communication app. Made sense. Number 3, once we had the app, we wanted to introduce commerce into the Rippln, because the app was going to help us accelerate our growth in the way we could connect with people. And then the bigger the audience, the more ability you have to social share real commerce to create transactions and revenue. And then from there, we wanted to evolve the platform to where Troy Dooley, who's an entrepreneur, and he loves these glasses and he manufactures these glasses and he has an audience and a following. He wants a delivery vehicle where he can actually, offer these glasses in the market and see the ripple effect by partnering with the community. So where the customer can create their own product in the community.
Okay.
So truly a platform of the people, for the people, and by the people. So you're not limited to one company, one product, saying you got to sell this product. It could be another network marketing company's product. It could be Nike, whatever it is, or it could be something that you create at your house. My point being, those were the 4 phases.
Okay.
But because of the enormous anticipation and demand, and really the acceptance of the conversation, that's really what it is. I mean, I don't think you can give any one person credit for the viral growth that's taken place. I believe that it's a conversation who, people get it and they want it. It's put a lot of demand on us being able to look and pivot. What we did is we started, meeting with some experts, some legal counsel, saying, okay, where do we want to go now? Because any great company, you have to remain flexible enough to pivot based on your audience feedback, your consumers. So what we made a decision to do is say, let's compress time frames. So when we do release, let's not just release with an app, because we do have the audience already. We have more numbers than we anticipated, even through phase 1 and phase 2. So we want to introduce commerce. So our first goal is to introduce commerce. But before we do that, is we want to make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. Because the last thing that we want to do is roll out commerce, for instance, and not be prepared to support that, globally. The second phase of it is now to roll out the app. We had our app literally 98% there. Once we started getting literally 18 to 20,000 hits on our APIs per second, we said we need to, number one, do more load testing, more testing to make sure that we could support that. And so what we've been doing is really re-architecting our middleware structure, which is a technology term. I'm a Kentucky boy, so that doesn't mean a lot to me. But my point is that so now when we roll it out, we're taking extra precautions to make sure that if we have 1 million people that are in the Rippln, when we go live, our reach could literally be in excess of 50 to 100 million people that we can reach instantly. So what we don't want to do, is be able to reach that many people and bring on 10, 20, 30 million users in the first month that we release the app and not be able to support that or have the infrastructure to ramp that up. And so we literally have grown, I would say, over 25 times what our projected number was. So that's pushed everything back several weeks, which in this environment, as fast as we're moving and as much demand that's on the market, 2 weeks seems like 2 months for the audience. And so, to answer the person's question, in the upcoming weeks, our rollout process is going to be through the summer. So, we're looking to roll out the app anywhere from, July to September. Obviously, we're going to roll it out when it's ready. The sooner the better for us, just like the audience. Sure. But we do have a sequence that we want to go through, and we want to make sure that everything's in place. And anybody that's had to manage this type of architecture or this type of demand understands a little bit what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, but you do have a giant database infrastructure that you have to put together. The front-end website has to be put together. All this stuff has to talk to each other, in making it happen. And I think if people were to slow down and think about this for a minute, that takes a lot of money. So it's that in and of itself, I think people need to understand. You guys are funding the infrastructure right now. You've got employees that are working on this. You've got contractors that are working on this. You know, you've brought camera crews in that are working on this, and that's your guys' commitment. I think that people need to realize is you're putting your money where your mouth is, and every day that you're behind whatever your original launch date is, that's costing you money. So you guys aren't procrastinating or pretending not to launch. You really want this thing to launch in a timely manner, but where it works for people. Is that not?
No, absolutely. I mean, listen, if we would have been at 30,000 people right now, you know, there's not an issue. There's a huge difference to where we're at, and I think that you hit the nail on the head. I mean, our goal number one is to make sure anyone that sees what we see, they believe in what we're doing, that they understand, you know, and it's not just the money. I mean, that is, you know, one of the things. We're putting our personal money into it.
Right.
But it's time. There's a lot of people that are sacrificing a lot of time away from their family, you know, time away from, you know, current occupations. And I'm not just saying corporately and behind the scenes, but there's a lot of people out there that believe in our vision and the platform and the mission that we're on.
Right.
And so for us, you know, the commitment is truly whatever it takes, because we don't take that responsibility lightly, that someone puts faith, being certain of what they hope for, but they're putting faith in someone they might not know. Or,
oh yeah.
And you know, that's a huge, not only responsibility, but it's something that we take pride in. The commitment that we can make is that we have a resilient team. You've met a lot of them.
Yeah.
And the commitment that the team has is we're going to be resilient enough to react to anything that the environments throw at us, that we'll pull every resource that we have to make sure that we can deliver a compliant, clean business model, and also deliver a business model that someone can count on.